And now we get some losers action. Our losers semis, just to keep things moving along here. Richard420 versus Witcher. And Witcher giving us that nice stream. And we're going to get right into it with our losers semis match. Witcher, the winner of last week's tournament in losers bracket, had to feast. Got knocked down by Pope DARPA. Was knocked out by Pope DARPA, so going up against, let's see here, who is this again? Richard420. That's good. I need to not do two things at once.
We got spirit.
There we go. All right. So, Witcher dropped down to losers bracket. The favorite of this tournament dropped to losers bracket by Pope DARPA. Richard420 knocked down by Terrarius, both in that in a 2-1, but Witcher had to take on Yurga in this loser's run, is going to have to take on Richard420 in this loser's run, and then the one that person that knocked him down to get a chance for this tournament win. Same for Richard420, had to take out Eskel. Two very strong players, Eskel and Yurga, and now up against the tournament champion from last week. Both these players have quite a task ahead of them if they want to make it to this grand finals, and then they have to reset against Terrarius. That's Terrarius made it through winner's side, so they still have a life remaining in this tournament.
I'll let you have that. Gotcha.
Alrighty, so that is 5 damage already under Richard420 by Witcher Zax here. That's a quarter of the win con for game 1 achieved for Witcher, who has an orbital strike yet again. Oh, it's gonna be devastating when this thing comes down next turn. I didn't even catch that. Maximus goes down with that crit. I don't even think Witcher cares too much. Orbital strike coming in a couple of turns.
We trained for this.
Amplifier. Oh, Maximus lived. Yeah, Witcher's just gonna take a bunch of pot shots at this Zax, because with Amplifier, be told that is 7 more damage this turn, because Zax +1, 2 shots from Maximus +1 each, and then an orbital strike on the next turn and just keep clinking them. Just force the issue here. The Zax already have 15 health. It's gonna be brought down to 8. This game could be over turn 3 or turn 4 with this orbital strike. Decide if he wants the guaranteed damage shot. Oh my gosh, it's still an Amplifier B-Toll range.
Wanna have a jam sesh?
3, 4 damage here if both of them hit. One of them misses, does hit the other. 10 health left. And the Plink, 9 health remaining on him. If we do the quick math here, we have Orbital Strike. That's 3 from Zax, 3 from Orbital, and potentially 4 from Maximus if Maximus somehow lives this turn. Could be a very quick game 1. Corrosive Particles coming in hot. A lot of damage in return. Maximus goes down. Does Richard420 go? Probably going to opt into trying to get rid of this Amplifier Beetle. It certainly has the damage between the Maximus and the Deadeye. It's both those shots. Deadeye gonna take that one. Again, I don't think Witcher cares too much. Richard420 not respecting the threat. It's turn 4. Orbital could be coming in hot. Gotta respect that going into turn 4 every time. At least until they fix it.
This moon's talking to me.
So here comes the orbital. Bonk. Almost certainly a sleeper mine behind the Zax here.
It's okay.
Or Broken Vengeance to threaten that angle, and this is... You gotta think this is GG for game 1. This Plink orbital strike combo we saw from Witcher against Yurga, I think game 3, it's so powerful.
Nice. Gotcha.
When you call, I come.
Oh man, not much you could say. The Torian could keep this alive for a little bit longer. Great Torian drop.
Wanna have a jam sesh?
Oh, but the grab disc to separate the Torian from...
Keep my eye.
Yup, and that is going to be game. GG. Sometimes you get orbital strike and Plink. Whew. Again, I think the proposed change for that ship assist is that it's going to be, you say, you call it, and it comes down the next turn. And I like that change. I think it makes it a much more skilled move. Either way, game 1 handily in Witcher's favor. Well played. I think a lot of that could have been maybe mitigated if Richard was like, all right, turn 4, that's an orbital strike coming, don't clump. Or was like, didn't put themselves in a corner. Once Plink was revealed, realized you can't out-trade until you get better pieces, so maybe back off a bit, but it's hard. RICHARD420, I believe this is their first tournament, made it here all the way to losers semis, playing for third, playing for a chance at at losers finals. Loser of this goes down in 4th place.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Oh, hello. Who is this speaking? Oh,
This is Charlie Flavra.
welcome, y'all. We have
Hey.
we have the
Thank you.
project lead and game designer for Moonbreaker. Welcome.
That's right. What are you streaming? Is something exciting happening here?
Yeah, we are. We have the we're streaming. This is our second tournament.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Witcher here, champion of the last tournament, is streaming here in Discord. For us, we're in loser semis. I don't know if you kept up with this last tournament last week. We had a last week we had best of 3s where you couldn't. We brought 3 rosters and you couldn't play the roster, the captain specifically. You won with in a previous game, so you had Astra game 1, and then like Extilia or Zax in game 2 or something. And then in this one, we're experimenting with a single roster. You only have one roster you come to the tournament with. We did have to ban Astra. I think you mentioned in one of your dev streams that was okay.
Yeah. I think that's
But it's one of those where it's like, we want to have more diversity than Astras everywhere. And we also had... We know that you guys are working on tuning up Astra, so just kind of... It didn't feel right that it's like you win a tournament with an Astra that's going to be different in a couple weeks.
Totally. Are you also in our inner circle, the balance area, the balance chat?
I am not, and yeah. Also, you're getting some love from the chat right now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we're streaming
There's,
on
you're on Twitch?
Twitch.tv/Sarah Cruz. Yeah, I think I caught you watching my stream during the playtest once.
I've definitely been trying to keep up with everything.
Oh, there's a lot going on here. I think you guys had day 9 streaming too.
Oh, is there one right now?
No, the tournament's happening right now. I know day 9 was streaming on release day a week ago or so.
That's right. I did watch that whole stream, which was super awesome, and I've been chatting with him quite a bit.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we do have Witcher here with Orbital Strike again.
Damn Orbital.
I think he's had Orbital.
too.
I'm sorry?
That one's being fixed too. All the direct damage stuff is just not working.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, me.
Oh man. But yeah, it's been these tournaments have been fun. Yeah, you also have. I've never seen that emoji before, but a little waving demon child from the chat.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it right now. I'm watching the stream now.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a parallel said hello flavor. It had a little emoji with demon horns and a hand waving. Yeah, here we are. Game 2 of our best of 3 between Richard and Witcher.
Talking to me.
Richard, once again, not as boxed into a quarter as he was last game. Does have a lot of options in which direction he can go. But the blindsider drop does get chipped down to 1 health remaining. So that's probably going to be taken out on this coming turn. So blindsider has to burn. Oh, lifeline going to keep him alive. And we see Richard walking into turn 4 once more. Maybe not the best position to avoid an orbital strike, but at least going to pick off a few pieces before this 3 damage AoE comes down. Oh, it hits all 3 of them!
I'm a showman.
Oh, man. So with that, that does do a lot of damage, but not as much, especially because of that lifeline on the blind side. Richard in a much better position after this orbital strike, because last game, the game was basically over at this point.
Just look like you're thinking.
And Witcher identifying that that is not a board state you want to walk into coming out of Richard. It's so hard to say. It's like Richard and Witcher. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the current state of the match we're watching here? If you want to hop in, Flayra.
Yeah, I'm watching now. You know, I can only see the huge problems, so it's less about the current game and more just about bigger things we got to change.
Yeah.
So we're making some big changes right now. I'm very excited about them.
Awesome. We're glad to hear that. And that's very,
Yeah.
I definitely get that. I've done a couple of game jams myself. Whenever I see people play the stuff we make in them, I only see is like, oh, that happened because that code was ripped together in 30 minutes before time.
Yeah. Yeah, or I suddenly can, you get a new perspective on the game. Just, I don't know, somehow when you release into early access, you can now see what other people are seeing in the game. I don't know, I guess it's giving me a really great perspective on the game. Like, I used to think of it kind of like a mix between Hearthstone and a miniatures game, and now I'm starting to think of it just as like a pure miniatures game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because when you hear a lot of the community speaks of it as like pure card game terms at times.
Yeah, and I understand why, and I think we're going to be able to address that in a really cool way.
Oh, awesome!
So, yeah, I've been working on this stuff like crazy. So
heck yeah! I mean, it's only early access, so
that's the thing. It's early access. This is the time to make these kinds of changes. So it's great.
Absolutely,
it's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had some pretty crazy games here as well. A lot of back and forth and different styles of play interacting. We saw it last week, and we see it in this tournament today.
Yep, that was a beautiful turn right there. That was really,
yeah, and you see this with Witcher as well. We saw this in Witcher's previous game against Yurga, and we've seen Richard do this as well a couple times. Just big swings back and forth, picking off each other's crew as soon as they're dropped or the second turn after they're up.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have Richard in some of the games you saw watching him in group stage has some excellent recoveries. And you really can.
I mean, at level 33, I can imagine he would.
Yeah, and that's actually something we talk about, how it delineates a lot of the stronger players from the weaker players right now, or I'd say like mid-level players from the players who are kind of new to the game, is knowing how to stabilize a situation. And get out of trouble and kind of turn things around in your favor. Oh, that was a gamble, Richard, and you knew it.
That's nuts. It had to be like 85%. Oh no, he did have the. Oh no, yeah, it was probably 85%. Ouch.
Yeah. Yep. And then and the Torian got hit. That's amazing. Both players have lifeline here to keep these pieces up, so this game could be really actually be a bit longer than what we've been seeing here.
I wonder if the accuracy fall off is tuned right. Like, I wonder if it should just be like even higher accuracy at, you know, because right now there's a certain fall off, and it feels right most of the time, but every once in a while you're just like, why would that miss? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think I know I've talked about this a few times before where I think it was Fire Emblem Three Houses did a thing where there's the lifeline keeping Crosshair alive, and the Nectar Vine, all that work to take out this Crosshair. That Shrapnel Miss is going to come back in spades here with this Nectar Vine drop from Witcher. And I talk a lot about on my casts here the past 2 weeks about how impactful the 5 units that immediately do something when spawned are. Amplifier, the Nectar Vine, Torian, Quetzali, and I can't quite remember the 5th one.
I should know. Jailbreak.
Jailbreak, yeah, they just do something the moment they're dropped, and so they allow a lot of excellent outplay potential. We can see that here, completely flipping the situation with the lifeline from this Crosshair. Oh, Aegis! Thank you, Pope. Aegis. And I would even say Broken Vengeance in a way for at least he used to, for the amount of presence he used to create on the field. We've been seeing a lot of players now know how to kind of just pick apart the Broken Vengeance with their captains and making it not as destructive immediately as it once was. And Richard kind of turning this around. The Torian now close to his Zax Jakar. The Broken Vengeance down immediately. But if I'm sitting here, I'm Witcher, I'm going to grab this Torian out of the way. Torian no longer giving the boost to the Zax. Hit it with the Crosshair, the Shrapnel, and the Zax damage, and I have Orbital Strike next turn to end it. And I meant like Broken Vengeance Death Parallel is ran a lot because it's a great unit, but it also, because of the ability to kind of counter strike against other crew, and it's a 3 damage unit with 7 health, it's just something that has to be accounted for.
Yeah. It's pretty much at the top of the balance stats right now. It's pretty close up there.
And yeah, but one of the things that we've seen this week is I guess because we have a lot of Extiliar lists, is the resurgence of Quetzali a little bit here.
That's such a fun unit. One of my favorite units in the game. Just so dynamic and so exciting, and yeah. Who doesn't love an alien yoga teacher anyways?
Right? I don't think people are acknowledging enough that he teaches that is. I always think it's so funny. It's like, now do this pose.
Yeah, it's all like downward dog stuff.
Man. So I'm a little bit. Okay, this is a bit of a spoiler. There's a podcast, the Dungeons and Dragons podcast I love, called Dungeons and Daddies, subtitled not a BDSM podcast, by the guys who did Video Game High School.
Good for the good disclaimer there.
But it's a hilarious one. It's like dads that went to the Forgotten Realms to protect their kids. Yeah. So they like, the hippie nature druid dad and the coach dad that's actually a barbarian, that sort of stuff. It's hilarious. But there's a plot point where like a villain they're up against is just this real turd of a yoga teacher person, and so like just constantly posing all the time. That's what I think. Oh my goodness, that crit is huge. Oh, but the miss. Same amount of shots to get the same results, honestly.
Yeah.
And now we see Richard trying to do those recoveries we've seen. But the Orbital Strike gonna kind of make this a done deal between the Shrapnel, Zax, and Orbital Strike damage. This is pretty much it. Grab this, the Torian out, make these shots guaranteed, and end it with the Orbital Strike. GG. Richard had an excellent run, but ends today in 4th place, folks. And we have Witcher advancing through this gauntlet of a loser's bracket here into a rematch against Pope DARPA.
Are you playing 2 out of 3? Best 2 of 3?
Yes, we're doing 2 out of 3 today. Yep.
Great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure the randomness feels about right.
Yeah. And it's like in a card game, or any type of game where there's variance. You want to mitigate it, and like say 40K, you mitigate it with a bunch of shots. you have not just one dice, you have many dice. This one, it's like card games.
You got it.
spread it out over games. That said, Witcher has been incredibly effective with these orbital strikes on this loser's run, and now a date against Pope DARPA. So if one of you, if you guys could start up whenever you want.